Hi. If you've grown into a successful tutoring business on Outschool and are now looking to set up independent tutoring operations online, this video is right for you. Now, this is a common story across all businesses that grow on Outschool. They start as individual tutors or a group of tutors. Initially, they don't have many students, so getting new students through Outschool is really helpful on the top line. But as they grow into a large tutoring business, someone who does 400, 500, or 1,000 tutoring sessions a month, the amount they end up paying to Outschool in the form of 30% of their revenue makes a significant dent on the bottom line. So if you're running a tutoring business that's doing 500 to 1,000 sessions in Outschool, you're probably a popular tutoring business. You already have students or parents who know about you, who may want to learn directly from you independent of Outschool. But given that you are on Outschool and that's the only presence you have, you're constrained by that. So as a tutoring business, you have no option but to tutor students through Outschool and pay 30% on the entire revenue you're making. In this video, I will explain how tutoring businesses are setting up independent operations outside of Outschool, while at the same time maintaining their presence on Outschool to get new students. This video talks about setting up independent operations without violating any terms or policy of Outschool so that you can set up your independent operations, have a greater control on your revenue, and be set up for long-term sustainable growth. Let's get right into it. Why do tutoring businesses want to move away from Outschool or want to set up an independent presence? The answer is straightforward. The primary reason is the 30% revenue share. Because initially, if you're getting new students, you're more than happy to pay 30% of your revenue. But eventually, a lot of your students are primarily coming through word of mouth or referrals, and you may not feel comfortable sharing 30% of the new revenue that you're getting. Additionally, you don't really own the customer relationship. Every student or client that is coming in is Outschool's client. So you cannot run marketing campaigns or resale campaigns with the same freedom that you may have if these were your own students independent of Outschool. So as tutoring businesses grow, for example, if you're doing 500 sessions a month and charging $50 for every session, you're doing $25,000 in revenue, but you're paying $7,500 to Outschool. Whereas if you're running your independent operations, assuming you are able to create a software like Outschool or have a SaaS similar to Outschool, you would not be paying $7,500. You may end up paying $700 or at max $1,000, but not $7,500. So logically or theoretically, it makes complete sense to have an independent presence so that your margins are better. Now, all this makes perfect sense. Still, a lot of tutoring businesses, despite thinking about this, do not end up setting an independent presence on their own. And the reason is straightforward because the thought of creating a software which is similar to Outschool, which has advanced features for group tutoring, one on one tutoring, the Zoom integration, is very daunting, especially if you do not have a tech background. So creating a custom software not only seems daunting, but also is expensive. I've talked about this in my previous videos where whether you should consider creating a custom software or using a SaaS, and I've talked about pros and cons of each. Now, in the defense of these tutoring businesses that are daunted, most of the tutoring software that exists out there come from a time before Outschool. They are admin software that are just basic scheduling or invoicing software. They would not help you create a managed marketplace like experience that Outschool provides to your potential clients. However, there are many tutoring software, something like Wise, which provides not only what Outschool provides, but even better. You can have a fully branded managed marketplace. It's a plug and play. You can get started right away. So when considering whether to set up your independent presence, while it can be daunting to create a custom software, but today there are options like Wise that exist where you can get started within a day or a week and have a managed marketplace, a self-serve portal for parents where they can book sessions directly with your tutors. And the best part is you own the entire client relationship and it can be completely branded. Now, whether you're considering building your own custom software or using a plug and play like Wise or something else, there's a list of features that these options must have so that you can set up an independent presence which not only matches Outschool, but is even a better experience than what you are currently providing to your students. Number one, it should obviously have a storefront which surfaces your tutors and their availability so that the students and parents can directly book sessions with the relevant tutors and start their tutoring. It should obviously be able to integrate with popular payment gateways like Stripe or PayPal so that it's a completely self-serve experience. It should integrate with popular virtual classroom software like Zoom, Lesson Space, or Pencil Spaces so that your tutors or you don't need to manage these accounts individually. The platform takes care of it. Your tutors just have a start button, your students have a join button, and the session is launched automatically without you having to share user ID, passwords, or meeting links. Number three, it should have some advanced features around reporting, around progress reports. It should have some LMS features as well so that you can share homework, assignments with students so that parents see the value addition of getting these services directly from you. And most importantly, it should be a fully branded experience. Now, of course, if you're building a custom software, it would have your logo and name. But even if you're going for a tutoring software, a plug and play solution, ensure that you pick up a solution like Wise or similar to Wise, which can be completely customized as per your branding. It should have your logo, it should have your name, and some of the softwares also provide a branded mobile app. So having a branded mobile app in the pockets of your students or their parents is very good for long-term retention, where you always live on their devices and you can have very interesting resell or upsell campaigns that you could run through these mobile apps. Now, here is a key thing that you should also consider. This video or this process is not about migrating from Outschool. It's about setting up an independent presence. You should still continue to be on Outschool if it is getting you new students, if it is exposing you to markets that you would normally not be exposed to. It's always a great idea to use Outschool as either a brand building exercise or also like a top of the funnel where you can get new students. Whereas in the communities or in the markets you're already popular, there is no reason if they land directly on your website or directly on their Instagram page, they should still be redirected to Outschool. So having an independent presence ensures that your Instagram, your social media, your website has your direct booking links and not Outschool links, so that whosoever lands on your website, whether through SEO or whatever content you're posting on social media, you do not end up doing a 30% revenue share there as well. So the best way to handle this is continue with your presence in Outschool. There's no reason to say no to new money or new students. Use that as top of funnel, but at the same time, have an independent presence where you can work with students in the long term and start growing that as well eventually. And the idea is that eventually your independent tutoring operations should be significantly larger than your presence in Outschool, so that eventually you can discontinue or do away or something, or Outschool could be something that you do not need, and your independent tutoring presence or independent tutoring business is just growing in a very sustainable manner. So here's what I want to summarize. Again, this video is not just about Outschool. It is a general strategy that individual tutors that eventually transform into tutoring businesses should follow. While marketplaces in general are a great place to start, if you do not have students, if you're just starting, it is a great place to get students to learn. But the idea is that you use marketplaces as a starting point and not something that you permanently work on. Use marketplaces to build your brand presence, use marketplaces to understand what's working and what's not working. And once you have reached a point where you think that your brand, whether as an individual tutor or as a tutoring business, has a recall value, and you're paying too much in the form of the percentage revenue, then that is the right time to switch to a tutoring software where you can set up your independent presence and get students directly, own the client relationship, and build a long-term sustainable tutoring business.